All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Much respect to the brothers laboring worldwide in truth and sincerity, and salutations and blessings to the hopeful elect, believing on the words of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. And clearly, prophecy is speaking. If you have eyes to see and ears to hear, which means understanding, you see what is playing out on the world stage. Now I have a couple of videos I want to share, regarding the current events that's going on in the world and how they are in line with the prophecies that have been foretold in the scriptures.
To Siberia. Anger growing and hundreds arrested. Police officers marked with a symbolic Z, the sign for Putin's war, beating protesters today in St. Petersburg. According to an independent monitor, more than 700 were arrested today across 32 cities. Thousands have already fled Russia to avoid Putin's call for 300,000 more troops. This man made it to Finland, saying he does not support Putin's actions. All this on day 2 of what the West has called a sham referendum in the occupied areas of Ukraine, with armed soldiers monitoring ballot boxes. Stunning developments on the heels of Ukraine's surprise counteroffensive. Inside a bombed-out Ukrainian church near the destroyed town of Izum, a clear sign the Ukrainians have the Russians running. The Russians used this church as a staging area and field hospital. And looking around, you definitely get a sense of just how quickly they had to leave as a result of that surprise Ukrainian counteroffensive. In the northeast, Ukrainian soldiers say news of Putin's mobilization makes no difference to them.
It's just fresh meat for us.
Why do you see them as fresh meat?
Just a lot bodies to their mothers. So it's sad, but it's sad first of all for Russian people. They will die for nothing.
In a war known for its brutality, a rare moment of pity, but no mercy, amidst the continued carnage.
And Aaron joins us now from Ukraine. Aaron, President Putin signed a new law today that makes it even harder to avoid the draft.
Jose, failure to show for military service is now punishable by up to 10 years in prison. So tonight, hundreds of thousands of ordinary Russians are being forced to choose between going to prison or going to war. Jose?
Aaron McLaughlin in Kharkiv, Ukraine. Thank you.
Tonight, growing protests are raging across Iran despite an unforgiving crackdown and threats. Iran's president issuing a warning today, saying authorities must deal decisively with those who oppose the country's security and tranquility. But almost 100 cities have been engulfed with demonstrators, many of them women who are clashing with violent security forces. According to state media, 41 Iranians have been killed since the protests began, sparked by the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini. She had been arrested by the country's morality police for an alleged violation of Iran's strict Islamic dress code. After she reportedly collapsed, police took Amini to a hospital where she died 3 days later. The Iranians say an investigation is underway. Around the country, many arrests are being made, even during the day when protests are not happening. Security agents identifying demonstrators they believe were on the streets at night. The women who are at the heart of this protest continue to defy the authorities, burning headscarves, cutting their hair, and walking in the streets of the capital without a hijab in defiance. Government loyalists have been called on to come out in the streets to show allegiance with the ruling authority. But in cities across the world, rallies were held in support of the Iranian people. The government here is trying to put a stop to the protests. In addition to blocking internet access, now closing down universities across the country as they are traditionally a hotbed of dissent. Jose?
Ali Arouzi in Tehran. Thank you.
We've got some more breaking news overnight as well. A powerful 6.8 magnitude earthquake struck Mexico, killing at least 2 people. The epicenter was about 30 miles south of Agalia, but it could be felt hundreds of miles away in Mexico City. That's where people rushed out into the streets in the middle of the night there. Officials say a woman died after falling down the stairs in her house. It all comes just 3 days after another deadly quake about 200 miles away on the Pacific coast.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube.
Powerful earthquake rocked Mexico's southwest coast today. The earthquake struck this afternoon in the state of Michoacan, but could be felt as far away as Mexico City. As KCAL9's Joy Benedict reports, today's quake arrived on the anniversary of two earlier devastating quakes.
Oh my God, everything's really flying around.
From hotel rooms in Puerto Vallarta to the streets of Mexico City, a 7.6 magnitude quake left everyone shaken. The earthquake struck just after 1 in the afternoon local time near Colima. That's more than 200 miles south of Puerto Vallarta, 400 miles west of Mexico City on the coast. But the alarms still went off in both cities. It's gonna be okay. Social media lit up with signs shaking at the airport, equipment in the offices moving, and people hugging, waiting for it to stop.
They have an earthquake in Mexico on average about 1.6 years, give or take.
Alan Husker is a professor of geophysics at Caltech, and he was in Mexico for the earthquake in 2017 that killed 370 people. It happened on the exact same day, September 19th.
It was everything, scary, exciting. I mean, like, I'm a scientist, and so I love to study these things. So that's the excitement part of it. It caused lots of damage, and people were hurt, and it was difficult. I mean, people managed to get through it.
And of course, on September 19th, 1985, an earthquake in Mexico killed 5,000.
Since 1985, it happened now 3 times in this one day. It is just an unusual coincidence.
Some were at a memorial praying when today's earthquake struck. So far, only one person has died, and the damage appears to be minimal, something Dr. Husker credits to the fact that this earthquake was further from the city and the fact that the buildings are built differently now.
In Mexico City, it was very far from the city, and so I wouldn't expect very much damage. I haven't heard much at this point. Certainly nothing like it was in 2017.
Mexico sits on 3 large tectonic plates, making it one of the world's most seismically active regions.
It's in the subduction zone, and what that means is basically one tectonic plate is pushing into another tectonic plate and moving beneath it and rubbing against it.
But of course, when things start moving, knowing it could happen is never the same as feeling it.
I think it gives us a chance just to reflect here in California. Remember, we're an earthquake country, and certainly can happen anytime here as well.
Joy Benedict, KCAL9 News.
So prophecy is clearly speaking. All right. Protests, uproars of the people in the world, earthquakes, is clearly speaking. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And obviously, these things are not tarrying. All right, this is just the latest in the protests with Iran and Russia. All right, 41 killed, and really that goes back to the influence of Esau. All right, the way these women want to not hold to the customs, all right, of their country. Okay, because Esau gave them that liberty. All right, that's why the whole world is out of course. You had rallies or so-called protests in other countries, all right, supporting this shit. Well, part of why the nation's going to be mad, Also, 3 earthquakes over the last week, 2 in Mexico, 1 in Taiwan, I believe. And the thing about Mexico, I believe September the 19th, they said 3 times on the same, all of them occurred on September the 19th. Back to back to back, But that was just really for those who can see that understanding, what the Lord is getting ready to do is judge this place harshly, all right, because of his wickedness. This is the book of Matthew, 1 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. But of the times and seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. And we know perfectly what season we in. All right. You got Biden now declaring that that COVID is over. All right. He's basically saying what? Peace and safety. All right. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. So these hurricanes, these earthquakes, these uproars, all right, letting us know exactly where we at in the prophecy, all right, how the Lord laid it out, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24. We'll start at verse 3. I'm going to jump down. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Yeah, this current age, eon, all right, Esau's rule. And Yahawashi answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Are we seeing those things occur? Yes. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right. We at the beginning stages of sorrow. All right. I seen where the people in Florida in the Panhandle were preparing, all right, for, I believe they said Hurricane Ian. Okay, it was expected to reach up to a category 4. But in those grocery stores, they're bare already. All right. These the beginning of sorrows. You got Costco's and Walmart and these certain big box stores counseling $1 billion of orders. Hey, we're right on schedule. It says, verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famine, and pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow. See that? All these are the beginning of sorrow. All right? This is 2nd Ezra. Before I get that, I just did a quick Google search. All right? Recent earthquakes, just to see. But obviously it's been plenty, man. That lets you know that the Lord, and there ain't no light ones, man. Most are above 5. 5 is like the median, right? So you had one September the 19th, one we were speaking on, in Mexico, 7.6. Got one in Chile, a 6.1. Indonesia, a 6.2. On the 22nd, 3 days after the 19th, you had a 6.8 that was also included in that article or video. New Guinea, right, a 5.7. In Russia, 6.0. Another one in Mexico on the 20th, right, a 5.8. You see? Obviously, these things are coming to pass to show us where we at in the prophecies, right? So this is 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And the Lord is doing that by way of teeth of wild beasts, but more specifically is these wildfires, these earthquakes, these storms and tempests, right? It says, what is it, Isaiah 29, right? It says, therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. See, the Lord is very specific. All right. He lays indicators out. And it ain't like these things are not going to be coinciding at the same time. That's why they're mentioned in the same breath. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, see, these things are going to occur at the same time, and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. And that word manifest means clear or obvious to the eye or mind. Real quick, I often look up this word. Let's get it again.
Manifest.
Manifest, clear or obvious to the eye or mind. See, it's clear and obvious to us. All right? Because the prophecies are exactly what the Lord said was going to happen. That's what's occurring. Okay? We have a more sure word of prophecy. Let's go back. Okay. So, 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 5. For like all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. It's clear and obvious to the eye or mind. Right? Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. See? It's endings and effects and signs. What are the signs? The earthquakes, the uproars, all right, the famine, okay? Them, basically saying peace and safety. Those are the signs, all right, because it says sudden destruction. They're not going to be looking for these things. They haven't been. It says, and everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils. Yeah, we just talked about some of the said perils. All right. The Lord said those ones who seeking while he may be found and kept the faith, all right, endured, all right, those things shall be preserved, endured to the end, right, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. So these prophecies are playing, all right, playing out, and it's just the beginning of sorrows, all right. Pray it's been edifying. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom. Lord willing, coming to you with another lesson. Shalom. DTA, a Bible Ball. Soon.